He is the individual that I think kind of got the ball rolling on the Drake May shoulder injury.
All I said was there's no doubt in my mind that Drake May injured his shoulder on Sunday. And it wasn't me that injured it. It was Hufanga on the 13-yard scramble. And I was just saying, yeah, I was more worried about Drake May's shoulder than Sam Darnold's oblique. You got two starting quarterbacks with injuries. Why? Because Sam Darnold's oblique at that point on Monday was already 2 weeks old. He's played 2 games, and the Super Bowl is going to be 4 weeks old. Meanwhile, Drake May's shoulder is an evolution, and there wasn't even admission to an injury at that point in time. It is likely a mild AC joint sprain versus a posterior capsular sprain, based on how he fell on the Hufanga tackle.
My entire journey has been about growing, and I'm just so thankful that it's led me to this point here in Seattle.
The Seahawks are going back to the Super Bowl.
The Patriots are used to winning.
The Patriots are Super Bowl champions.
It's a new era that we're trying to build, get back to what they created.
I ain't come this far just to come this far. Touchdown! You got to be kidding me. Perfect pass by Sam Darnold. Holy catfish. Ooh, let's go! Hell yeah! Hey, we only got to the Super Bowl, baby! SportsCenter on the Road is presented by who else but Geico. And there she is, Levi Stadium, Santa Clara in all her glory will play host Super Bowl 60 coming up, the Seahawks and Patriots, as we come to you from SportsCenter's home here in San Francisco. Good look at the Bay Bridge, Oakland on its way to San Francisco. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Levy. This is a time for hope. For hope for football fans, obviously for Seahawks and Patriots fans, that hope will come Sunday. But beyond that, there is hope for the other 30 NFL franchises. For just the 4th time in 40 years, the 2 Super Bowl teams here both missed the playoffs just 1 season ago. So there's hope for your team, too, making this one of the most improbable Super Bowl matchups in Super Bowl history. We get the latest team reports now. Jeff Darlington is with the Seahawks, but first up, Sal Palantonio with the Patriots.
Thanks, Steve. Well, the best way to describe this Patriots team right now is confident and loose. Confident because they got their quarterback back to full speed. Drake May, injured shoulder in the AFC Championship game, practice without any limitations, full participant Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And loose because of the way Mike Vrabel handles this football team. He had them at full speed on Thursday and Friday, but then he said he's going to fine-tune some things for the next 48 hours. However, friends and family are here at the team hotel behind me, and he said he wants to give his players some time with the people that they care about. Now for a report on the Seahawks, here's Jeff Darlington.
Well, Sal, Seahawks head coach Mike Macdonald has been preaching to his players all week to stay loose and to stay focused. And that so far is exactly what he has seen. And perhaps equally important, he's seen his Seahawks team stay healthy. Even safety Nick Eamon-Worry, who rolled his ankle on Wednesday, was a full participant in Friday's practice. He will not carry an injury designation. After an injury scare that made some wonder if the star rookie would be available for this game, Macdonald joked after practice, turns out he's alive. Macdonald called it a normal Friday practice, as the team has tried to keep the same cadence as a normal week. He said the players would spend time with their family on Friday evening and refocus Saturday for final prep. Loose and focused, just as Macdonald wants it. Steve?
Joined now by Booger McFarland and Dan Orlovsky. And as you guys know, I ask the tough questions.
Yeah. Notorious for that.
So, Dan, let's start with you. The Seattle Seahawks win the Super Bowl if...
Yeah, number one, they got to take shots at this New England secondary. I would do it early and often. This is a good group, but there are throws on tape against New England's defense, and this is one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL this past season. Sam Darnold's offseason goal, when shots are there, you got to take them and you got to make them. That's got to be a huge part of this offense early on in this football game. I think the second thing is DeMarcus Lawrence is going to go have to chase down Drake May. We've talked about Drake May and his legs and his ability to escape. If you watch this defense, it seems like DeMarcus Lawrence is the guy that chases and keeps Sam clean. When Sam is clean, the turnovers, the questionable decisions, they go away. If that offensive line in Seattle can handle this defensive line in New England that's very good, this offense has got a chance to hum.
I'm going to keep this a little bit more simple. If Sam Darnold doesn't turn the football over, Seattle wins. They're the better team. They're the more talented team. They face the tougher schedule throughout the season. And if they go out and play a clean football game, Darnold doesn't turn the football over. They don't have block points. They don't give up a special team touchdown. They don't give up a defensive touchdown. If this game is played straight up, team versus team, without something fluky happens, Seattle should win the football game. And it starts with Sam Darnold. He led the league in turnovers this year. 3 fumbles lost, 17 interceptions. If he plays clean, guys, I find it very hard to find a way New England can win this game.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Sounds like Sam doesn't have to win it. He just can't lose it.
Go.
Correct.
For Seattle. All right, let's flip it. Dan, back to you. New England Patriots win the Super Bowl if?
Yeah, their defense has just got to keep them in it. Just that defense is a good group. Just force Seattle to march the field, maybe hold it to a field goal. I think the second thing, Milton Williams got to dominate the football game. Milton Williams was a prized free agent signing that came over. He has to dominate. Booger's talked about Anthony Bradford, who's the interior guard for Seattle. Milton Williams dominate. I agree with Booger in regards to the Sam Darnold valuing the football, don't give it away, but it's more for me. This defense has got to take the ball away, and they got to score twice off it. If you get 2 turnovers for Seattle and you don't get any points off it, that doesn't do anything. And I think Stephon Diggs got to be dominant. I truly believe if New England is going to win, Stephon Diggs is going to walk away with one of those 8-catch, 90-plus, 100-plus yard performances and the focal point of that pass game.
As usual, I'm going to take something complex that Dan said and try to make it simpler. The Patriots win this game if their defense is the best defense on the field. I don't think this game can be played in the high 20s, low 30s. It's got to be played in the high teens, low 20s. That means this Patriots defense is going to have to absolutely be outstanding. I think Gonzalez has to have a big game. And to Dan's point, those interior tackles, Barmore and Williams, have to dominate those guards from Seattle because Sam Darnold does not want pressure up the middle. And so if you're New England, it's really simple. Your defense has to be the best defense on the field. And it's a defense, it's talented, but it's a bunch of misfit toys, a bunch of guys that says, hey, we didn't want you here. We didn't want you here, Carlton Davis, Caleb Chason, Robert Spillane. Now you get to come together and be the best defense on the field. Play with a chip on your shoulders. If they do that, they'll win the game.
I had an NFL coach tell me that Darnold is a top 3 arm talent in the entire league. It's not all arm talent, but top 3 arm talent behind only Josh Allen and Matthew Stafford. Pretty good company. Yeah. When all is said and done, come Sunday night, what are we saying about Sam Darnold?
Well, it's a must-win game for Sam Darnold. I'm just joking. I'm joking. I mean, reality, he goes from punchline to champion. We just don't see this type of quarterback journey often in the NFL. He was the 3rd pick of the NFL draft. He goes to the Jets, and he's terrible. He has moments that he referenced at the end of that interview, or a reporter does, of seeing ghosts on national TV. He goes to multiple places, and it doesn't work out. And he's kind of an afterthought, and then goes to Minnesota, and there's good. Oh, you choked again. Now it's NFC Championship game versus a guy who just won MVP and you outplay him, and then you go to the Super Bowl and you beat the Patriots. And I understand it's not the Patriots of old with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, but it's the Patriots with Mike Vrabel and a star quarterback in Drake May. He would go from the guy that many people mocked to now a guy that many people I think would try and emulate.
It's perception reality, and I think if he wins this game, I think we will forget about seeing Ghost. I was on the call for that game.
Yeah.
It's all we know about Sam Darnold.
Sure.
I saw Ghost. You win this game, I think that goes away. But if you lose this game, from a perception standpoint, we're going to say, is he still the same old Sam Darnold? He led the league in turnovers. He led the league in fumbles lost. Is this an opportunity for him just to say he got hot for a moment, but he couldn't finish the big game? He came up smallest in another big situation. But the reality is, regardless of this game, from a legacy standpoint, he can cement himself as one of the premier quarterbacks that's won a Super Bowl. However, he's got to go out and get it done.
The last time these two teams met in the Super Bowl, the Seahawks chose to pass from the Patriots' 1-yard line, not hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch, and a Malcolm Butler interception decided the game for New England. That was 11 years ago, has no bearing on this game. Wilbon, which way you're leaning?
Seattle. And when the trade deadline came, I said Seattle. I thought that Seattle was the best team, at least in the NFC, all season. I think that the question is the same question it's been all year. Sam Darnold. Is Sam Darnold going to be the guy we saw all year, or the guy that they threw out of Minnesota before he was the guy that they threw out of New York?
Well, he left Minnesota on his own, but yeah.
Well, they kind of threw him out because if they wanted him,
that's right.
They could have kept him, and they decided they didn't, and shame on them. So, yeah, I'm looking at this as Sam Darnold based. He's got all the weapons out there, including when he's standing on the sideline, arguably the best defense in the National Football League. He can rely on them. He doesn't have to do too much himself. He doesn't have to feel all that pressure he might have felt other times in his career. I know New England is worthy, but I'm looking at also who they played in the regular season. Seattle was tested far more frequently. I'm going with the Hawks.
I think the better story would be if New England wins. I think they were 4-13 2 years in a row. They got a brand new coach to their team and a second-year quarterback, and nobody saw this coming. And if they win this game, maybe with Mike Vrabel and Drake May, maybe they begin to get in line for the legacy of Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. So I think it's the better story. But like you, I think Seattle's the better team. I think they're better on offense, defense, and special teams. I would be very surprised if New England won by a large margin. I would not be surprised if Seattle won by a large margin. Because, as you say, Seattle went through the tougher conference, the toughest division in football, and beat them again in the playoffs.
Yeah.
What's your Super Bowl pick?
I think Seattle wins 31-20. It might be a bit excessive because both teams have elite defenses, but I think New England's offense is going to struggle mightily versus Seattle's defense. And as a result, Seattle's offense will get additional bites at the apple because I think you're going to see some 3-and-outs. Remember, New England started out the game before the blizzard in Denver. Mm-hmm. They started out the game with 4 3-and-outs. So we can't forget
Denver,
that.
Though, now,
I understand that. But wait a minute. Denver has 68 sacks, and I get that part. Mm-hmm. But the other side to it is their defense still wasn't considered better than Seattle's. And so I'm looking
Depending on who you ask.
Well, most people. Maybe not you, but most people. Most people.
Depending on who you ask.
And statistically, nobody gave up less points than Seattle. So here's how I'm looking at it. I think Sam Darnold, his kryptonite was the Rams over the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. He was 28-4 against everybody else, 1-3 against the Rams before he finally beat the Rams last week. What did he do? 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Give credit where credit is due. I'm looking at it and I'm saying, okay, if New England is struggling to score against that defense, when you look at Njigba, he's not bigger, stronger, faster than anybody, but you can't stop him.
Right.
You can't stop him. He's been doing it since he was at Ohio State. 1,793 yards. I mean, the brother is doing his thing. And then you got Kenneth Walker coming out of the backfield with Charbonnet having, torn his ACL or whatever it is. And we forget that Kenneth Walker is a 1,000-yard rusher. Mm-hmm. And so I'm looking at him averaging 4.6 yards a carry, and I'm saying to myself, they can run the football. They damn sure could throw it. And they got a defense that can shut you down. New England, to me's only shot at winning this game is to hold Seattle to 20 points or less. If they can't hold them to 20 points or less, they do not win this game.
So your football knowledge is impressive, but I thought I'd taught you a little more football than you're displaying today because New England is going to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
Sam Darnold is not going to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
The New England Patriots are an underrated force right now, featuring that coach and that assistant coach and coordinator and that young quarterback who's way better than people are giving him credit for.
You know better. First of all, tell your audience the truth. Anything attached to Tom Brady, even remotely, you're going to root for. That's what you do.
Except for some of the off the field.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But here's the deal. New England, weakest schedule since 1999.
True.
Number one. Number two, playoffs. Slater and Alt gone from your offensive line as Pro Bowl linemen. Number three, Houston divisional playoff game. Elite defense, but your offense was shabby, and that was before you lost Nico Collins. And then Schultz got hurt in the second quarter.
He did.
AFC Championship game. It's the backup, Jared Stidham.
It was.
Okay, and oh, by the way, a blizzard showed up in the second half. So if you're going to pick the New England Patriots, just keep it a buck and say what it is. It's divine intervention. Because there's no football reason to believe they're going to beat the Seattle Seahawks. There's no football, not with their schedule, not with the conditions under which they won the playoff games that they won. There's no reason for you to sit up there with a straight face, Skip Bayless, and act like for purely football reason.
Yes.
Without divine intervention, they going to win this game. Hell no. You know better.
Reasons. I just saw Drake May figure out how to beat 3 of the top defenses, 2 for sure, 1 and 2 to me, in the league in 3 straight playoffs.
16 points and 10 points.
Figured out.
16 points and 10 points in those 2 games.
Your arm. And, hey, as Aqib has pointed out, as a premier cornerback, what impressed him the most about Drake May against the Houston Texans was he was just gunning, man. He just said, I want you.
That's fair.
Those two cornerbacks, I want you and I want
fair.
you, and I'm coming right at you.
It was fair.
I'm coming right at you.
No, it was fair.
Yeah.
It was fair. He definitely did that against Houston.
Yeah.
But you talked about 3 games, not 1. And I'm saying the other 2. How did that offense look against the Chargers? How did that offense look against the Denver Broncos in the first half? I'm talking about before the blizzard.
Who's in the Super Bowl? The New England Patriots.
Okay, who they playing against? The team that I picked, Seattle.
Yeah.
They don't have enough.
So, in the end, Seattle's there because of their defense. Not that New England is not. New England's allowed no points in the playoffs. 3 to the Chargers and 7 to the Broncos. I mean, 2 of the 3 games, like, hello. Seattle allowed some points to the Rams, which I'm sure that New England, Josh is looking at, because whatever the Rams did, we got to do that because nobody else did anything, right? That's part of it. I think Darnold and May will both play pretty good games. But does one not? The chances are they both might not be the best in games. This is a big stage. You know.
Huge stage.
I picked 26-17 Seattle because I had to pick one like the end of last week. I hadn't really thought of the score yet. So now I'm stuck with it. I just think in all phases, although New England has a punt returner, dear to your heart, and Seattle certainly has a punt and kick returner.
Rashid G.
New England has rookie kicker, young punter. Is he rookie too? I don't think so.
His first year. What's his name?
Borgal's the kicker, the punter. But Seattle has veteran kicker, Myers, and maybe the best punter in football. Don't even look at all the stats. The Australian guy, Dixon. Why are we talking about punters? Well,
field
because
position.
if it's close.
Field position and defense. That's what these teams are both built like.
So he's really good. Just remember that when you watch the game. I'm not telling you, but so those Stones, like the Rams, had special teams problems. Well, in the end, it killed them, right? So I just think all levels of their defense, they're going to be hard to score on, barring turnovers. Can New England get to 20? I don't know. Can Seattle get to 20? I think so.
Here come the NFC champ Seahawks and the AFC champion New England Patriots. Drake May, Sam Darnold ready to do it. Opening drive was Seattle. Darnold looking for Cooper Kupp. Beautiful catch, 23 yards on the play, sets up field goal 3-0.
I thought it was an outstanding game plan by Clint Kubiak early on. They moved the ball and even went tempo early on in the game, Boom.
Now the Patriots have the ball. Derek Hall, and these sacks weren't 2 yards, they were like 10 yards,
And this was kind of the story early here. Drake May holding on to the ball, that 4-man rush getting home. A little cautiousness there for me.
Patriots punted away. Darnold looking for Jackson Smith and Jigba, but the overthrow on this play, even though Sam shook himself free, and it was,
really good job by Sam shaking free. If he'd have had a little more time, that was a touchdown.
To the Seahawks punt. All of a sudden, we're settling into one of these games. 3-0, second quarter. Darnold looking for Rashid Shaheed, but Christian Gonzalez played a really fine game back there, made the play.
This is a phenomenal play. This ball is up in the air, 50 yards downfield. To be diving and get your hand on that ball, unbelievable.
Next play, this was the star offensive player by 461 yards total for the guy they call K9, Kenneth Walker. 30-yard gain, first down Seattle. Early in the second quarter still, Walker. Open space and whoop, and then whoop, and he's outside, 29 yards, setting up another Myers field goal, 6-0 Seahawks. Under 11 minutes to go in the half. May, this is Riley Mills. These aren't the biggest names necessarily.
No doubt, but they were dominating inside, and you can see again Riley Mills taking the left guard, powering him back to the quarterback. They dominated the interior of the Pats offensive line.
And so Morgan Moses, Patriots trying to get it together. Now we're less than 40 seconds in the first half. Darnold to Kupp. It's still a 6-0 gain at 7 yards. Getting toward the red zone. We must say that the Patriots, for 2-3 quarters, Seattle got close to the red zone, but their defense stood very tall, looking for Smith and Jigba. Again, it's Gonzalez.
Another great play here by Christian Gonzalez. Ball left a little inside. I'm sure Sam wants that one back, but great defense.
But Jason Myers, boy, they're kickers and punters. I mean, Dixon had a great game punting. Myers perfect with field goals. That's 41 yards, 9-0 at the half. Not quite Pittsburgh 2, Minnesota 0 at the half in a game in the 70s that I remember, but close.
Bonds, Bonilla, Van Slyke all hit 3-run homers. Boom.
There you go. Sam Darnold, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Would he start to open up first drive, third quarter, 16 yards? Sam, swing, Walker. He's hardly walking. He's rolling. 20 yards, first down, Seahawks. 4th and 9, so it's a 41-yard field goal. Kicking, all these were off the paint, but it didn't matter. Myers, good again. Myers, rum, good. 12-0. It's a good mixer. Now, Darnold, the shadow of his goalpost, the swing to Smith and Jigba. He's in pain on the sideline. Would have to be evaluated for concussion. But he would return. Under 4 minutes left, third quarter. The defense still pitching a shutout. 3rd and 4, Patriots own 33. Keyshawn Butte, it's incomplete. 3 straight 3-and-out Seattle defense.
And Drake May seemed a little bit off all night long, Boom.
Well, we know why. Now May knocked out by Derek Hall. Byron Murphy the second. Again, names you don't really know until tonight.
It speaks to their depth, Boom. 6 sacks on the night. The sack calls fumble, the trifecta there, and Drake May. The frustration of a loss is starting to set in.
And so first turnover, New England. McDonald thrilled. Early 4th, same drive. Now, would it be time for a touchdown to essentially put it away? The barn burner. You talked about him this morning, Alex.
I thought there was so much attention on JSN. Great job. A.J. Barner never comes off the field. He's a phenomenal blocker in the run game. Sets up this play-action pass, and a great ball by Sam.
19-0 Seahawks. This is what they do. They're like a python. Their grip gets better and more dangerous. But give New England credit. May running for his life, but making plays, gets 6 yards with his legs. Stephon Diggs shoved down by Joby. They begin to jaw. Hello, how you doing? What are you doing after the game?
Frustration, Boom. That's all that is. Frustration.
You know, hardly any flags. Neither received a penalty on this. At least it was not a flag fest. May later drive. You know who was a big receiver? Mac Hollins. He could have played barefoot. He decided to put on cleats, and after catching a deep ball, he caught another one for a touchdown. 35 yards, 19-7, maybe a ball game. Under 10 minutes to go. 3rd and 6, own 21. May looking for a gap. Picks up 16 yards. Patriots rolling. Mike, you might want to see this. You're going to enjoy it. 2nd and 3, Patriots. May looking for Kyle Williams, but might as well face it. You're addicted to Love. Julian Love with the pick, and he'll take it back to the 38. May struggling under pressure. Who wouldn't? Seahawks get the ball back in Patriots territory. 4th and 4 from the 8. You know, well, here's the play again, Boog.
I thought that was a big force by Drake May. He had just made a big run with his legs. He forced one down the middle.
Jason Myers, good. Again, perfect. Complimentary football. We said it before, the kickers, the punters. Oh, by the way, the defense, and now the offense doing it. Myers, Super Bowl record, 5 field goals, 22-7. And now, there's the defense. Look at this. Coach Mike McDonald is here. You tell us what happened.
Spoon making a play. Chin in the right spot. Touchdown Seahawks.
They had no answer for Witherspoon blitzing all night long.
How's that look?
That's pretty awesome.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
29-7, a defensive score. Yeah, we know it's just a matter of time. Whatever the final score will be, the Patriots were game. Drake May's going to Stephon Diggs with a hard hit to the Patriots in the red zone. And then Ramondre Stevenson, a touchdown. which
That's a
I
bummer.
don't know. It looked like
Wish it would have matched that a little better.
They didn't look though.
I was wondering what happened on that one.
They didn't look. I thought it might have hit the ground, but it didn't, I guess.
It didn't matter.
They went for two. They didn't get it. Onside kick.
George Halani. How about George Halani? Shout out. Great play.
2:20 left. Seattle would punt, but still, this is going to end it. Keep him in bounds. Henderson tackled. We didn't know what color the Gatorade would be. I bet on green, but then again, it was kind of green, kind of, yellow, green. Coach Vrabel, Coach McDonald, Super Bowl champs, the confetti, respect by both. Big Leonard. You look at the stat sheet, he had one tackle. What was wrong with him? Nothing.
Guy's an absolute animal. The big cat.
Took on three guys. How's that help?
Unbelievable.
You mentioned Mike Vrabel, who's been a Super Bowl champion as a player with New England, come up on the short end of it after this bitter defeat. Their thoughts?
We had a really, really good year, and one that I'm proud of. But in this game, I don't think is a reflection of our year. We lost, and we were beat. We were beat, out-coached and outplayed, and give them credit. Every year, unfortunately, somebody loses this game, and we can't take it out on the people that love us the most. And I try to tell them they got to find a place to get with those people tonight and thank them and hug them, because they'll be the ones that are there when you lose to the Steelers and you lose to the Bills and you lose to the Raiders and you lose the Super Bowl. They're gonna be the ones that love you no matter what. And I think we have a bunch of great guys, and I'm sure this will bother them for a while, and then we'll have to get back to work.
Yeah, he was a heartbeat. No doubt about that. He was. He's a big reason why we're here. He's always the same, and look forward to my relationship with him for a long time. He's a great person and hell of a football coach. It's a business at this level, but it's more than that. It's more than that. In a game like this, and yeah, I think that's about it. It's more than a business. There's people in there that are doing it, not for the money or the fame, and that's what's cool about this team.
That's a young dude with an old soul. Go ahead.
I would play.
I love that.
I would play with him. I want Drake May on my team, and I hope you never lose that. I hope Drake May never gets to a point where his feelings aren't broken after losing the biggest game he'll ever play in. I hope he never gets to a point where he can't recognize what everyone in that building, from the top to the bottom, does to help you win football games. To talk about his coach in that way and say how he's looking forward to the rest of what their relationship is going to be, to talk about the fact that they're not playing for money, you're not playing for fame. Like, that's what happens when you get to this point. Nobody ever thinks about losing the Super Bowl until you lose it. If you're good enough to get there, you believe that you can win it, and it is heartbreaking.
And he's only a second-year man and the second youngest quarterback ever to play. And to hear it, that kind of wisdom, man, that's heavy. And he did mention took an injection in his shoulder, and we point that out because there was a shoulder injury, and he's a quarterback. I'm sure plenty of other players did as well to be available for this game. It was clear, fellas, that they were in deep water early and that this was not a day or a night for him, the quarterback, or for them. What do they take away and move forward with as a group, Swag?
The young players on this football team got a quick dose of what this league is about. So that should help propel them as their season goes along. You hear the pain and the discomfort in Drake May in this loss, but it seems like it's the right makeup and mentality that'll fuel them to recycle this thing again. RC sits up here as a Super Bowl champion, but you also lost one. And you got to decide how you respond. And I think Mike Vrabel is the perfect coach for that, because he played and he understands how you got to kind of recycle and reshift your mind to get ready to try to make a run again. But more importantly, man, these young players for the New England Patriots, and I know we're going to talk about Will Campbell and what he gave up tonight, but to play in the Super Bowl as a rookie and to be on this stage and to play the playoff games that they played and the level of adversity that you face in playing three of the top defenses in the NFL on your way to having an opportunity to play in the Super Bowl, I think it's going to pay dividends for them. This team is going to be about now, how much leadership do you have? How fast do these young guys grow up and recognize that you just don't get here by lining up again? This is a hard road to travel to try to get back to this game, but hopefully they take some of this experience tonight, some of this pain, and it builds grit, it builds some callous, it puts them in a mindset that they can do it again, but next time they have this opportunity, hopefully they understand what it means to play that 3-hour game.
They better recognize you are not entitled
100%
to this.
Yeah, my shoulder feels, I shot it up, so not much feeling. It was good to go and it felt all right.
Not much feeling after he got it shot up, which he dropped in there. He wanted to make that known after the game that had happened, which tells you everybody was lying. He was lying. The team was lying, whether it was publicly or privately. And it certainly felt at times like a PR push over the last couple of weeks that he's fine. Oh, he's fine. He's great in practice. Oh, he's throwing the ball great. Oh, it's not something to worry about. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. No, guess what? It was a big deal. And he is hurt, and they didn't want to say it. Okay, I get that. You want to hide the fact that your quarterback is injured. I understand that completely going into a huge game or going into any game, really. Oh, they took him off the injury report on Friday. Full go. Bull crap. He is obviously hurt. He is obviously not at full health, and it has impacted his ability to throw the football in a very significant way. Was it you, Phil, that I was talking to about a clip when we were watching some practice footage of Drake May last week? Were we on TV?
No, it wasn't me. I don't think so.
Was it Thursday? I thought it may have been Thursday, you and I on TV in one of the breaks.
Oh, maybe.
I was talking about the shoulder.
Yeah, you felt like he was following through in a little bit different fashion.
Look at the way he's swinging the shoulder forward. He's trying to push that ball. Something's wrong.
A couple things for me, and you guys kind of already touched on them, but the first one is obviously that defense, and we'll talk a little bit more about them throughout the show, but man, they were doing whatever they wanted to last night. The other thing, though, and I think the most important factor was the turnovers. Coming into this game, throughout the playoffs, Seattle had 0 turnovers. New England had 5 turnovers throughout the playoffs. And I said for the last 2 weeks, whoever protects the football is going to win this game. Well, Sam Darnold in Seattle did not turn the football over. Drake May in New England had 3 of them. But not only did they have 3 turnovers, all of those led to points for Seattle. The first one was a sack fumble by Hall. They get the ball on New England's 37-yard line. They go 5 plays and score a touchdown. That's 7 right there. The next one, and actually New England came back and scored. He threw that touchdown to Hollins, and it felt like they were getting into a rhythm. Darnold just missed Rashid Shaheed on the go route against cover 0. New England's driving after they start backed up, but then Drake May just throws a crazy interception to me. And I mean, still...
Can you begin to explain?
Yeah. I don't know what he was doing, Skip. I still don't know. I don't know if he was trying to throw the post to Kyle Williams and he underthrew him, or he was trying to throw the deep in cut to Booty and he overthrew him. It was right in between both of them, and Julian Love had the easiest interception that he'll ever have.
But did he have pressure in his face?
So what he did...
Did he throw it kind of like, No,
so he stepped up. Looked like he settled a little bit. I don't think it affected the throw, but he did have pressure in his face. But that's what I'm saying is I don't know if it came out a little bit less than he wanted to and he couldn't get it to Williams, or the pressure forced him to release high and it sailed over Booty.
You got guys, right? You stepped up and it's like, oh, they right
no
here.
Way he was
so I couldn't
that
even really...
because he was running this way. He was probably trying to hit that.
You think he was trying to hit Booty on the end cut and sailed? But you had a dropper right underneath that, so even if he puts it on the line in the right spot, it's intercepted anyway. So that to me is why I don't know where he was trying to go with the football. Either way, in that situation, when you're starting to get in a rhythm, you can't make that decision. Throw it away, take off and run, or even take a sack and move on. And then, the third turnover, obviously they called it an interception. Looked like a sack fumble to me, but either way, my former teammate Uchenna Nwosu took it for a touchdown, which was really cool to see. I played with him at USC. So that was the main factor for me, was turnovers. The next, though, was their inability to protect Drake May. They struggled all game long, and Will Campbell, we'll talk about him in a little bit. He gave up 14 pressures in that game. If you're a left tackle, which is one of the most difficult positions in all of sports, and you give up 14 pressures to your right-handed quarterback, it's going to be tough to win. But not only
the most any single player
and any single player
all year,
all season.
Wow.
But
terrible.
To Akeem's point, Seattle was doing whatever they wanted to do. Let's go 5-man rush. Let's go cover 0 early on and then drop out underneath. And then for the majority of the game, let's just go a 4-man pass rush and get home. As an offense, And I feel for Josh McDaniels, if you can't protect up front against a 4-man pass rush, you're not going to have success and you're not going to win the game. It's over. You can't do it.
Where are you this morning on Will Campbell? Mike Vrabel's, standing right behind him and not talking about moving him to guard. What do your expert eyes tell you?
Basically, I feel this way. The guy plays, 13 games, and no one says a whole lot about it, and hurts his knee, comes back for the last game of the regular season, does all right against Miami, get in the playoffs, and things don't go the way we'd all like them to go. Clearly, it was rough for a lot of reasons. Played a lot of really good players on 3 really good defenses prior to the Super Bowl, and a 4th really good defense in the Super Bowl, and a lot of good edge rushers, a lot of good players, and it was rough, and there's no doubt about that. And I don't know what caused it all. I've heard this about his knee. He's got a torn ligament, all this and all. I don't know. But I think that, the guy has talent. The guy has a lot of the qualities everyone's looking for. I don't think this is someone you give up on as a result of what happened. And hopefully things will get better for him.
What's the most important thing that, you would tell Will Campbell or any guy that they had to do that would really help them out when it comes to going against good pass rushers?
Number one, you got to get to the junction point before the defender gets there, which is that point that puts you between the defensive end and the launch point, always with inside-out leverage on the guy that you're blocking. You never set him nose to nose because you give him 3 ways to go. You always set him inside out because you only want him to have 2 ways to go, either through you or around you. So I think that's the most important thing. The tackles they have to control the width in the pocket. They're responsible for the width in the pocket. The centers and guards are responsible for the depth in the pocket. And that puts the quarterback in the most comfortable situation he can be in. That's all very easily sounding, but when it gets measured against really good talented players, it's always going to be stressed. So that's when you try to give them some help with the tight end presence or chipping with the back and all that other stuff. So it's no easy deal. And they had 4 games in a row where they got a lot of really good players on the other side of the ball, and they won 3 out of the 4 of them.
Dante, how much of Drake's bad play during the Super Bowl would you attribute to the O-line and Will Campbell specifically?
I would say this, Courtney, in regards to that question. I think that any quarterback back there and feeling duress, and abnormally too much duress, it's not going to do a whole lot for him, especially when he's not having the kind of success that he's used to. He's not completing many passes. He's always feeling like, oh man, I better get this ball out fast, and they're not ready for it. The receivers aren't. It's all that stuff gets measured in there. So, yeah, confidence in the front guys is really important, and comfort in the pocket is ultra important for a quarterback. And, and they failed to do that in the last game. And I'm not naming any names. I think there's not an offensive lineman in that group that said, hey, we all could have done better.